Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. I'm a Stampin Up Demonstrator, and I'm pleased to show you how to make this card, one of these cards, and the technique is called diamond gatefold. So let's get started. This is an example of the results using the same technique, how the paper can lay out either opposite colors or same colors with this background differently. When you open it up, it opens the gatefold, which is why I called it diamond gatefold, and inside is a gift card holder that it says here's to your next adventure, and that's simply using the Taylor tag punch to create the holder for the gift card. I used the Hats Off bundle, and it has some cute dies, the hat die we're using for this project, and then we can also use this one for the top of the hat, and it has some nice sentiments and also the hat itself. Let's see, so to get started you will need a piece of 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it on one side at 2 1/8. You won't be able to see it, but that's scored on one side. So now I'm folding that in. Use my bone folder to give it a nice crease. And to create a gatefold, it's basically 2 1/8 on each side. But rather than scoring it, it seems to work a little better to just score one side and then push this side into it. I'm left-handed, so I had to turn it over. So you just go until the center meets, and then instead of just pushing this down, you take your bone folder and you slide it toward the back, toward where the crease will be, like that. And that way, if you just push down, you might get some crinkles in there, and this way it's the perfect fold in half. Set that aside for a moment. The next thing we'll be doing our actual diamond technique. I'm using the Beauty of the Earth designer paper. It's got two sides that are beautiful, and for this you'll need a pencil and a ruler. You can use your paper as well, your grid paper. And we're marking the center with pencil. You don't want to use ink because this will show either side. So we are marking the center of this piece, and it's at, I'm using my grid paper right here. Actually, I think I'm just going to push this up so it's centered. Okay. The center of this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. 2 inches on the top and bottom would be your center. So you just place a little mark. You want to make sure it's straight, because otherwise it will make a difference in the way that this card ends up. So I'm just putting a little mark top and bottom. The side then, half of 5 1/4 is 2 5/8. And I know I've mentioned this before, but sometimes eighths are hard to figure. Instead of counting, if you go 2 1/2 and then 1/8, ooh, I got it right on, 2 1/2 and then one more eighth, and that's 2 5/8. And I still do that even though I know my eighths pretty well. This one's crooked. Okay, so then this one is also 2 5/8. So again, it's your 2 1/2, 2 1/2, and then one more eighth over. It's a good way to know what's eighths. So now I have my marks, and I will take my paper cutter, my trimmer, and this is the way that I found worked the best. Is when we are cutting, you don't want to take this off of your cutter, and I'll show you why, but this is something that I found out. Now you're not going to see this probably too well. So here is my 2-inch mark, and here's my 2 5/8 inch mark. I'm putting that into the center of the track on both sides, on the top and the side, pushing my arm down and just cutting that off, sliding this off, lifting it up. Now again, you don't want to take this out because that can get confusing, and it sounds silly, but this shape will end up looking kind of wonky, and it confused me anyway. So now we're taking the bottom of our mark and bringing that to the top, and then now our new bottom will be the mark, the next mark. So you just turned it, push it down, again leave it flat, go from the bottom mark, that's now your top mark, and move it over to the next mark, and I'm just turning it. And so I'll move my hand so you can see the weird shape that this is, and if you pulled it up, it doesn't make sense to do the marks the way that they are, so you just have to ignore the way it looks and just go by the marks. So now again, taking from the bottom, move it up to the top, and now here's our bottom mark, and that's what we will cut, and we end up with a diamond. If you don't end up with a diamond, then you did something wrong. So now we will take this piece and cut it in half the long way. So again, top point to bottom point, and we'll cut it in half. Okay, and now we have all our pieces. It's easy to do, but it looks, when you start cutting, it gets confusing, and from my experience, that's what I figured out. So now we will place our pieces on our card. You can do it a couple different ways. You can alternate your colors. Now this one has a pattern, so you want to make sure that the pattern is going upright. And then, and these will go exactly in the center here. Then you will take your other pieces, and this is 1/8 of an inch top and bottom, and you should be the same on the sides. Then you will take your pieces that you cut off and turn those opposite. So this piece, again, you want to make sure it's going the right direction. And then your next piece will be down here, like so. And again, design the same. These pieces are green, so the design doesn't matter, but if you did have a print or a design that had a direction, then you'd want to make sure that's correct. And basically that's all you need to do for this design. Now we'll glue it on. You can slide these off so you know which goes where. Start from one side and the other. And this is important that you do the correct side. I did a couple that I didn't flip it over when I should have to put the adhesive on, and had to fix it. So this is just going in the center. You can see that it's right here. Now when you put the other one on, you'll make sure that it is firm against that other piece. So I'm just pushing this down, making sure it's even, and you can see the points are exact, and then just pushing it down for the glue to adhere. Now this piece, I don't want it, I want this green side, so I have to flip it over. That goes right in here, and you just slide. You want to make sure that this point and this point are even, then it will go straight. Do the others. And now this one, I want the design, so I have to make sure that it's going in the correct direction. Again, point to point, and it will go nice and straight then. And this one, same thing. Like so. And that's all it is to get that design. So again, if you wanted the pattern to be the same colors, then you would have flipped this over but it's kind of a cool look, so whichever design you're going for is what you can do. To complete this card, I took the, let's see, we'll do the outside first. I took the hat and I already put it into the, I already cut it out with the die cut, and now I will take my Stamparatus, and this is what I like to do for classes because then I can cut these out for them and then they just have to stamp them. So we will put our hat inside here, into the space. I'm using Mossy Meadow. I refilled these come blank. There's 5 in a package and they come blank. And I use the Mossy Meadow refill, and these work very nicely to ink up on your Stamparatus, and you don't get ink all over everything. So put that like so, push it down, and now we have all the lines on our hat. There's a little space here that doesn't have anything because we will be using I stamped this out from the adventure, or from the stamp set, and there is a die for this, but for me it was just as easy to just cut this out. I'm leaving a little white border. Simple cut. Okay. And then I took my finger underneath and I just gave it a little bit of a curve. And then we will use a dimensional to put that on. Just one dimensional in the center so that it keeps the curve and the sides can stay down. And I'm doing the same with the hat. I'm taking my finger underneath and just sliding it gently, and now you have a curved hat. This will go on my card, and it will go on the right side of the card, so I'm putting dimensionals only on the right side. I'll flip it over so well, that didn't help. Okay, so I know that I don't go over. If you do go over, then you will not be able to open your card. So I just use 3 dimensionals, putting it on. Take these off. And just setting that on there. I'm putting it a little bit on an angle. Push it down. Put your emblem on the front of the hat, and that goes in that space, like so. And then for the sentiment, I have "You're the best" from that sentiment, or that stamp set, and I'm just cutting it off. You can cut it around, or you can just cut it straight. And now we will put 2 dimensionals on the left side, because that way it'll open up like the gate. So put that one on. Making sure that you're not extending it over half, because again it won't open. Come on. Okay. And that just fits right here on the left side. So now when you open it, it has kind of a cool look. For the inside, I took a 4x5 1/4 inch piece of white. I'm using the Tailor Tag Punch, pushing, just setting this all the way down. Basically, you're putting it as far down as it can go, even on the sides, and punch. And that creates the opening for our gift card. It fits perfectly in there, which was kind of cool. Then we will stamp first, because if we mess up we can turn it over. And this is saying, "Here's to your new adventure," which is perfect for a gift card opportunity. And we'll stamp that right there. And it's crooked, so that's why you want to do one side first. I didn't want my head in the camera, but okay, try again. So we will stamp it right there. There, that's straight. Next we will put I have a strip of the designer paper and we'll put that on the bottom. Again, this has trees for one direction and we'll put those in the proper direction. And this one's a little large, so we just cut off the back from the back so you can get a nice straight cut. Then we will take our tear and tape and put just one piece of tear and tape on the bottom. Okay. And that way your gift card won't fall through the bottom. And then we will just tape around the three remaining sides. So you don't need the tear and tape all the way around because that won't have any pressure on it, just the bottom. So we have to remove our release liner thing. Put that inside. It just centers in the middle. There we go. And then the gift card will slide into here. And you have a really cute card. And it's a gift card holder. I made another card with the same paper, and I always call this the pot leaf. I know it's not, but that's my first impression of it. So this one is not a gift card holder, so you can still do the same technique without making it a gift card holder. And this just has the leaf on it. So I hope you enjoyed watching how to make this, and that you actually try to do it and have success with it. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.